6 AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. Exi, AI, Technical Analyst. Mesa, AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa, AI Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zentrix AI.
As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and of course, make sure you share it with your friends. Hit the bell as well so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Currently in a temporary location, and I'm looking a little bit dark there, but do cope with me, ladies and gents. As things will develop, we'll hopefully get a bit better lighting at the moment. But if you guys do have any recommendations, any chart recommendations, any trades you're in, feel free to share, drop it in the chat, and we'll discuss and see what's going on. I will start with the USD side of things. Of course, we did have the Fed interest rate earlier this week. It looks like USD is strong, and looks like that is still continuing. So I'll go through USD pairs, start with the dollar, take a look at USD majors, and of course we'll go through gold and silver as well. What's up, CS? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, there is a bit of echo as well. The room is quite empty too. I do apologize, but hopefully it's not too bad. But yeah, we'll start with the DXY, and of course, if you do have any recommendations, drop it in the chat. We'll take a look. But yeah, regarding USD, it's looking pretty bullish. I don't think this is the best time to be looking to buy because we've just reached some highs of the past couple of weeks here, around 99.5. So I do still expect higher prices. However, we need to see a bit of a dip, a bit of a pullback. And I'm looking at this zone. As long as price stays above this low, I do think there is a likely swing back to resistance up here. Because this was a very pivotal week, because I said coming to the week I was very indecisive. I wasn't too sure what price is going to do. But now that we've got the strength coming into the market and we've maintained all of these higher lows, that for me does set the tone going into November. So as long as nothing drastic happens, aka breaking through these lows suddenly, as long as price doesn't do something like this and break through those lows, I will be having a bullish bias going into November, expecting price to break through a reversal. So it looks to me, let me see if I can take, there we go. It looks to me that price is forming a bottom. You can see with my crosshair there, and it's basically starting to pick up momentum. We haven't seen like a big commanding candle, which is kind of what I was hoping for this week's price action. I mean, we'll see what we get by the end of the day, but it looks like price is starting to pick up some momentum. And if you can see a strong close this week, especially above the wicks to our left there, this looks like a big kind of U-shaped pattern, bowl-shaped pattern, and I'll expect that to eventually pick up momentum to the upside, to take out this high, come test this level around 101.4. So November could be looking pretty bullish. I mean, I don't want to put a timestamp on it because maybe November is the consolidation, then December we see the follow through. But the end of the year should look pretty bullish here, how everything is setting up. So the bias for now, especially from a swing perspective, is long. It's just the timing of those entries is going to be crucial, because as price, of course, tests a high here, this is not the place where I want to be jumping into some longs from a swing bias, especially coming into Friday, coming into the end of the month, the end of the week situation. This is where the price is going to kind of reset itself and perhaps get ready for that follow through in November. So this is the area which I will be keeping a close eye on. Again, just basically stay above this low. I'm happy. Start to break through that low, things get a little bit awkward. But if we can stay above this area, 99 is roughly where I'm seeing if I can pick up some longs. and from then onwards looking at something like that too. So yeah, pretty bullish on the USD. Let's just make these a bit more visible. So if we take that into euro dollar, which of course is the inverse, I'm expecting the inverse of that analysis pretty much. Again, euro dollar has been bullish on the higher time frames, but it generally does look like prices starting to fatigue, and with the USD, the DXY getting ready for that reversal, euro dollar is going to be looking at the same thing as well. So I do think euro is likely to eventually take out this low. This was a very pivotal week. Price was very indecisive. We had this kind of squeeze with lower highs and higher lows. And of course, this momentum has basically picked my direction for me. So now I'm looking for more downside again as we go into November, looking for that low there to be tested at the very least, but most likely broken through as well. So in terms of opportunities for euro, I haven't actually taken out this low yet, but again, if you're very intraday, you might find some shorting opportunities. So if I drop to like a 15, so if price could potentially push back to this high, that could be an interesting point for a short, around 1.158, especially if we can sweep it, recover it really well. I think that's a nice location for a short. And then perhaps we see the follow through, because I was talking about some shorts yesterday at this high. I said if price can have one more rally back to that high, and then we can catch the rollover. Unfortunately, the market was just a little bit too bearish for that. So we've seen this follow through, and now I'm looking at opportunities basically to repeat the pattern, or I mean, the pattern didn't happen, but looking for the same repeat opportunity at that high, and then looking for conviction. Expecting price to break through that swing low. And again, as long as price doesn't take out this high, I remain bearish on the euro, bullish on the dollar, looking for this market to fall. So there's quite a few markets I'm interested in now, with USD strength kind of showing its hand. Pound USD also is a market I'm interested in, but again, I need that pullback. We've done a really good job this week, taking out this low from last week, taking out this low from last week, taking out this low from the week prior, and also taking out this low here, which held since early August. So it's been a pretty expansive week, and I do think that's setting the tone for, again, what we can expect in November. So really commanding push. Look at that for a weekly candle this week. Yeah, it looks like price has just struggled at the highs here, and eventually picked up momentum to the downside. So looking at a big drop, and if I look at the bigger channel here for pound USD, just to put things into context, you can probably look at that as the median for this swing, as price has been obeying the highs and lows of the channel, maybe a slight breakout there, but again, this is a rough channel. It's not meant to be taken completely, literally. It's just a rough guidance of how big the swings are. This is kind of the middle point, the median of that channel. So that's where I'll be expecting bare minimum from pound USD in the next few weeks, for us to go and test this area. Maybe pound does a swing all the way down there. I can't be as confident with that bias, but it is definitely a potential. But I can be pretty confident, especially after such a strong rejection, we get pushed to the lows. And how are we going to close on the month? Yeah, month is breaking those lows as well, looking pretty bearish too. So yeah, I would expect more downside, at least to that middle point there. So pound USD for me is definitely a pair of interest going into next week, next month. Again, the market looks a bit tired now, and I don't really want to be shorting at these lows. I want to be looking for bigger swings, and then looking for the follow through there. And if you can get a retest of the lows there, I think that could be a really nice swing opportunity going into next week, next month. So that's really what I'm after for pound USD. In terms of dollar CAD, this one had a really nice recovery, I must admit. This candle here closed very, very strongly bullish. On Thursday. So that was after the stream yesterday, because I wasn't really looking at the markets yesterday. I was quite busy. But now that we have seen a strong close like that, this looks like a very very fine-tuned V-shaped pattern, which again would normally resemble more upside, which does fit into the bias of USD still being bullish. So dollar CAD looks like a good opportunity. I do think pound and euro look a bit better, but dollar CAD, in fairness, has come back to retest a really nice level on the daily chart, retesting this level here as well. What's up, Dorwig? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. So yeah, we had a nice retest there Wednesday, Thursday, and now Friday seeing some follow through. So again, looking for a push back into that swing high, 1.40778. And in terms of opportunities, I would drop intraday for this one, because the idea is that if this was just a really corrective pullback, where's the channel tool? If this was just a really corrective pullback and now we're seeing momentum, the full process is that this corrective pullback is now over, and now we should really pick up momentum back to high. So we should be seeing kind of quick, nippy pullbacks, impulsive breakouts, and that should be the theme of this move high. If it starts to turn sluggish, maybe consolidate or even flip bearish, that's a bit of a red flag that, okay, maybe we're still in this channel. But if we can start to see some momentum pick up, quick break and retest could be really smart patterns to trade, and then expecting a push back to that high there. So yeah, pretty bullish here for dollar CAD. Not my favorite USD pair, but again, with the cross pair correlation, I would expect dollar CAD to pick up some strength as well. In terms of Aussie dollar, this one not my favorite pair. It did respect that zone we were talking about early in the week, but again, the opportunity was more just kind of quick mean reversion, not really looking to stay in the trade too long, just because there's no real momentum or trend really with Aussie dollar. You could argue there's a slight uptrend, but the market is really corrective, so it's not even a trend where you're looking to try and continue it. So just looking to plot kind of big key areas where price can bounce and retest from. This was one of them. We had that solid level from a few weeks back, came back into a nice supply area there as well. I was expecting to see at least a bounce. But of course, now that we're expecting more USD strength, I do think we'll see a bit more follow through. I just don't think this is the best USD pair to be looking to trade. You've got a lot of noise ahead of you. You've got this big consolidation there. Realistically, do you want to be shorting into that? Maybe intraday you can get away with it, but swing, it could develop quite a lot of noise, and it might not be the cleanest follow through. So yeah, Aussie dollar, not the biggest fan of this one, to be honest. I think I'll leave it alone unless we see some crazy momentum come in very soon. But I think basically you can chalk this to consolidation and just avoid trading it, to be honest. New Zealand dollar, which is a very similar currency pair to Aussie dollar, its partner in crime, if you will, is a lot cleaner. We do have a pretty nice bearish trend at play, clean lower lows and lower highs. I was talking about a retest of this zone. Unfortunately, just missed out on that opportunity. It looks like momentum has picked up again. So in my book, I am looking at price taking out this low. I mean, ideally it would be nice to see maybe one last pullback to get to that area, but at this stage I highly doubt it. Yeah, it does look like price is just going to continue here. So again, if you're looking for opportunities, I mean, it's always tricky looking for intraday shorts now, because we've already seen a strong bearish leg, so the market's a bit exhausted, and you do have a pretty noisy path back to the low here as well. So it might not be the best looking for like a big swing to the low, more so just a quick intraday correction back into the prior low, taking your profits there, and then maybe leaving a small bit to trail, because potentially, yes, it could go to the low. It could get into a noisy period of consolidation or really corrective behavior. So I would be very careful about looking for any meaningful in terms of big swings here for New Zealand dollar. But even just the break and retest off this low, it looks like a smart place for a trade. It's just I wouldn't be trying to hold for the home run in this scenario. So yeah, New Zealand dollar looking bearish, likely to continue lower. Again with that USD bullish bias. Just very sideways. And in terms of gold and silver, so I was speaking about some shorts yesterday for both of them. The way price took out the high wasn't really to my interest, and also it was outside of my my trading hours, and also I was really looking at the charts yesterday too. So even if it was inside my trading hours, I probably would have been there to take the trade anyway. But we did sweep the high quite well. This was as the daily candle had its rollover, so this was into early Asian session. It was a nice push down, to be honest. Not as big as I was anticipating, but now that we've already swept the high, the quality of the opportunity has died down. It's not as good as it once was. Normally, if price is going to revert back to its mean after sweeping highs, normally the first kind of breakout you're looking to try and take, the second and the third, and not always as high quality. And of course, coming into the end of the week, end of the month, price is going to kind of reset, so you can expect some more awkward behavior. It's probably best to wait for the new month to open, things to settle, and then set your tone. But in terms of just basic analysis for gold, I would still have that bearish bias because, of course, this consolidation, the strong drop down, I was still looking at this happening. It's just that I would probably wait till like maybe Tuesday, Wednesday next week before looking for entries now. If price was to suddenly break to the upside and take out this consolidation, especially take out the highs there, I'll quickly flip my bias back to bullish, because this bearish move I'm still very much looking at as just a counter trend move. Of course, the major trend momentum in play is very, very bullish here, so I wouldn't be looking to do anything in terms of long-term plays apart from looking to buy gold. The reason why I'm bearish is because we've seen a drop, a consolidation, another drop, so we've seen some continued bearish flow there, so I'm looking to try and short that on the short term. But if that was to flip, the buyers take control again, I'm expecting price to return back to highs. And pretty much the same analysis for silver too. So, except silver did break above that resistance. So it looks like silver is a little bit more bullish than gold. But again, I was talking about the high here. I said if price can sweep the high and then recover it, that could be a nice entry, especially coming back into that range on your left. But yeah, unfortunately, we haven't recovered. Price hasn't got back underneath that swing high. So I would say with silver now, especially seeing a pretty strong close there and holding above it, I would say if silver does have like a sharp break again to the upside, so we see this bullish structure here continue, then I would say, let's see, we fall another high low, then I would say, yeah, things have shifted again. You could probably look at this like a big V-shaped pattern or inverse head and shoulder pattern. And that to me is a reversal. And I'll be looking at pullbacks and continuations, at least back to that area. But then, of course, you got the highs there too. So it could be hinting at a bullish move there for gold and silver. It's too early to say. At least I wouldn't be looking for buys just yet. But the sells are not looking as great as they once was early in the week, especially in silver's case. We broke above highs and we're holding above it. Of course, if we were to shift and close strongly back down, that would change things. But then again, as I said, we're coming to the end of the month, end of the cycle. I think I'd wait till at least Tuesday next week before looking for the next swing. And let this month end and the next month open. But yeah, silver, as long as it stays below this high, essentially, bearish. If it breaks the high, bullish. Gold, same situation. Stays below this high, bearish. If it breaks above, bullish. And after all, that was our swing, which gave us our push to the low. So I would look to switch my bias around after that. So yeah, very, very bullish on the USD. Gold and silver still in the bearish order flow as well. So still maintaining that bias short term, but that could flip very easily. So staying on my feet. But USD, very, very bullish. Pretty much all currency pairs with the USD. I'm expecting the dollar to be the stronger currency. Of course, some look better than others. Euro looks good. Pound looks good in some pullbacks. New Zealand looks good. And dollar yen looks good, which I haven't looked at yet. We'll go for the yen pairs next. But yeah, that's pretty much it with the USD pairs. And then, like I said, coming to the end of the week, especially as more of a swing trader who's looking to hold his trades for a few days, a few weeks if things go very well. Now's not the best time to be positioning yourself as the market. So I will be kind of just taking it back seat and just scoping, seeing how weekly candles close, seeing how monthly candles close, and then jotting that down in terms of information going into next week. So with my watch list, at least going into next week, next month, it will be very USD heavy, very yen pair heavy as well. So I'm looking at euro dollar to the downside. I think there's a lot of opportunity because if this is going to reverse, we're probably likely going to take out this low, and there's lots of downside for that, so there's opportunity there. Pound USD is already taking out that low, but I've mentioned that median on the higher time frames of the channel, which is around here, so 1.29, 1.28. Could be seeing a push there, so there's a lot of downside opportunity there for pound. Which are the USD pair. New Zealand dollar as well, pretty bearish on this one too. In fact, if I go to the weekly chart, I can show you where I'm expecting price to get to in the next few weeks. All the way down here, massive support. Price has been very, very bearish for quite some time. There's a good chance we do end up back there as well. So pretty bearish on New Zealand dollar, looking for that to drop. A lot of opportunity to the downside. So I would say those are my 3 favorite USD pairs, and if you want to include the dollar yen as well, dollar yen too, and we can take a look at that now. Then I'll go through some of the yen pairs too. But dollar yen, really nice breakout yesterday, taking out the highs here. Momentum has really much picked up. We were trading within this channel, which is why I wasn't so bullish with dollar yen to begin with, because it was very kind of based in this channel. But now it looks like price is picking up momentum and breaking to the upside, which could mean we start to see some stronger trends form and price really pick up momentum instead of this sluggish, channel type trend. It looks like we're picking up momentum for the breakout. So if that can follow through, then dollar yen, I'm expecting prices all the way up here, 158, and then I'm expecting eventually a push to 162. So dollar yen, there's a lot of opportunity, and the reason why yen pairs look really good and why dollar yen might be one of the better ones to trade is because I've been keeping an eye on the yen basket. And of course, as I've been mentioning for the past few weeks now, if the yen's going to drop, it's got a lot of room to drop into. So, as a person who likes to look at the longer term move and then see if I can take advantage of that move on the lower time frames, whether with multiple positions or one big position, this is a lot of opportunity here for dollar yen. It looks like we're breaking underneath support here and staying below too. So I would suggest, as long as you maintain these lower lows and lower highs, we're likely to end up back at 5,400 for the yen basket. And that's a pretty big drop. This is the weekly chart. This is not a small drop at all. So if the week is going to make that drop, that means dollar yen's got acres to move into. Pound yen, euro yen, all of the yen pairs have got a lot of space to move into. So that's why yen is going to be a big focus. We're finally seeing the momentum drop to the daily chart. Finally seeing the momentum, had a nice break and retest of that zone there. Seeing some follow through, just about taking out this low. Again, now's not the best time to be jumping into longs on the yen pairs, shorting the yen. We're just going to sweat this low here. This is not the time and place. If anything, I do think we'll see a bit of upside now actually. So again, especially when you have a longer term bias, you do want to make sure your timing is good, or at least you're not taking it in poor locations, because if you are bearish long term, well, the market's going to have some up moves. It's going to see some counter trends, of course. And if you're just shorting blindly, the market's going to punish you. So timing and location is quite important. So again, this is our high, which gave us this low. So as long as price can maintain below this point here, 63.29, I'm looking at a lot more downside for the yen basket. This is going to be the first kind of initial point I'll keep an eye on. Nice consolidation, strong drop, took us out of these two lows here. So this is going to be the first area of focus. And if the market wants to have a bigger pullback, then of course I'll look more towards this high here. But for now, that'll be the first focus. So similar setup on dollar yen too. If I just spin back to that one quickly. So again, as we've had the break of the channel, break of these highs, this pullback here is now the first area of interest. If we can maintain that, looking for us to really pick up that momentum and continue. So that would be my focus. And if we take a look at pound yen, I missed the opportunity to be honest. Not because I wasn't paying attention, just because it was just a very awkward time to be taking the trade. It was literally an hour before the Fed interest rate. Again, I always speak about the 4-hour chart giving you more room to trade into, but if you're trading directly into the news, you're always going to run a risk of spreads widening, a bit of slippage. So I just wanted to wait after the news to find the entry, but when I woke up the next morning, price was already trading in this candle here, so it was already long gone. What's up, Francis? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good, my man. So yeah, did miss that opportunity this week. Again, nothing. I mean, stuff like this happens in another universe. Maybe the Fed interest rate went the opposite way, and this would have been a loss potentially. So, market gives with one hand, takes with the other. But yeah, I really like the opportunity. Spiked through the low. Now I'm looking for some follow through. But in terms of pound yen, I would hold off looking for any longs in terms of re-entries. I do think price is very, very stagnant right now. What's up, Tosh? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. So yeah, pound yen is very much trapped inside this range here. So I wouldn't be looking for any continuation plays, any pullback plays. This is the worst location to be looking for any of that sort of opportunities. What I'm looking for is either another revisit of these lows, which would be absolutely amazing. If price can sweep the lows again, that would be perfect, because I can position myself there again, stop loss below the low, and hopefully look for a push there. And especially as we go into a new month, a new week, if price can sweep the lows there, that potentially could be the low of the month, potentially. Of course, you can never really anticipate that until everything's said and done. But knowing that the market's now going to push down, potentially take out, where did October start? October started there, so you're looking at another high low reference to October low, and now you're looking for the continuation. So that would be a great place, but of course beggars cannot be choosers, so it's just a waiting game. Maybe we get there, maybe we don't, but just a heads up, keep an eye on that low for a buy again. If not, and if momentum does pick up and we do see price breakout, that's fine as well. It's just now we're looking to ride momentum rather than look to kind of catch lows at significant areas. So now it's more okay, flag patterns, looking for momentum, break and retest. And there's still room to the upside for pound yen. Let's not forget, we've got this high here, but we've also got this high here too, 208, 207 roughly. So a lot more upside to be had for pound yen. So if we don't catch the low here, fine. Looking for breakouts and more upside. Can't complain, just waking up. Well, good morning to you. I mean, here in Kigali, it's just gone 12:30, so yeah, completely different time zones right now. But good morning to you. It's just gone afternoon here. But yeah, pound yen, definitely a pair I'm looking to play. So dollar yen, pound yen, what else? CAD yen recently broken out some momentum. Now I'm a bit more interested in this guy as well. So yeah, nice momentum picking up. Of course, I'll see how we get the closure for the weekly chart and the monthly chart, because that will provide some information. We are just coming back into resistance, so it's a bit of an awkward close. Despite us closing with some strength, I can't necessarily take too much away from that, because yeah, it could mean a bearish month next month, or at least potentially a push down. I can't just say, okay, we're going to break out because the candle's bullish. If it closed above the level, that's different. But into the level is always a bit awkward. But the key takeaway is momentum is coming back into CAD yen. You can see we're picking up. So again, swing trading, even day trading, you're looking just to take advantage of that momentum. This is our last pullback on the 4-hour chart. A correction into that zone, I think, is a smart play. So CAD yen longs I like. This one I won't be looking to hold for too long. Like I said, we're coming to an awkward place on the higher time frames, but a dip into that and just a continuation back into the swing high, for me, is a smart and high probability play. In terms of euro yen, this one's still pretty bullish on. Again, I like the low here, a bit of congestion, nice breakout. I wouldn't mind a nice push down and the continuation there. We've been super consistent with the higher lows. Again, betting on more upside. And then Swiss yen, literally same play. Although I would say with the Swiss yen, we kind of didn't really break high as well. Euro yen we did, so it looks a bit better on the pullback. So for that reason, I'll shift my attention a bit more to Euro yen. But Swiss yen's the same play and it could improve. So I'm going to keep an eye on this one. You know, potentially see another bigger breakout. Well, then the retest look better on the next pullback. So I definitely want to keep a close eye on Swiss yen too. So like I said, my watch list is heavily dominated with USD pairs and yen pairs. Looking to buy the dollar, sell the yen. So on paper, USD JPY long should be my best bet if my analysis plays out. Yeah, exactly. Huge time difference. Because you're like, what, 5 something a.m.? So that's a good 7 hours. Swiss yen, I'm trying to get an entry in Euro yen. Yeah, Swiss yen, I'm not the biggest fan of just yet, just because we are kind of stuck at resistance here. Of course, the market is extremely bullish. We're bullish on the monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour. Everything is pointing up. However, I would refrain from buying right now because we are having a bit of trouble at the highs here. If we could have a more of explosive breakout and really separate price from its recent high, then the pullbacks become very meaningful and the opportunity for even just a simple break and retest becomes a really good opportunity because there's just so much momentum in the market. There's a good chance that these levels do hold and continue. Right now, it's a bit awkward. We could very much roll back over here, even back into these lows here and start a bit of a range. So I would refrain looking for entries on Swiss yen if you're looking to long. Sells actually make a bit of sense here. Maybe in the context of things, no, not really, because it was so bullish. But you know, I can't blame anyone looking to short here. Back at highs, there is some sense there. An aggressive trade, but there is some logic at play. In my books, I'm only looking to buy Swiss yen. Momentum is so bullish. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go against that. So yeah, I'll wait for a strong break at the high. In terms of entries for Euro yen, I'm also looking for entries for Euro yen as well. But it's got to be down here. What's that, 177.1? Yeah. If I can get pushed down there, I think that would be a smart place for a buy. Because there's your consolidation, there's your breakout. Retest, you're looking for the next higher low. And then you're betting on the continuation after that. So yeah, Swiss looks good, but it needs to break the highs. Euro looks much better because we had a more significant break here. So I can trust the pullbacks a bit more. And entries, that's the zone I'll be eyeing up. Oh, okay, 6:30. Oh yeah, because the clocks went back, didn't they? In the UK, so my reference is an hour wrong. But yeah, still, what, 6 hours ahead? And the clocks in the US will be going back next week, aren't they? So it would jump to 7 hours. What's up, Mercy? Pound Swiss. Okay, we'll go through some of the crosses and some CHF pairs. Yeah, to be fair, the theme of the CHF pairs, of course, has been heavily short the Swiss pairs, but because we have seen some unprecedented upside, I'm being a bit more careful looking to short the Swiss pairs. Pound Swiss I like because it looks like it's about to break a really big level, or technically has broken the level. But I just wanted to really step up momentum a little bit because it's such a big level. And if that's the case, I do think Pound CHF could be making a move long term back to this low here. So I'm very bearish. Hey, what's up? Bashi, welcome to the stream, my man. Hope you're doing good. I know clock's pushed back, but I think you're right. Yeah, because the UK normally push back their clocks or push forward their clocks normally 2 weeks before the US do it. So I'm expecting clocks to go back in the US next week. I appreciate the links, Bashi. Yeah, I have switched location. A bit of a temporary fix right now, but yeah, it's very, very echoey here. It's because it's got really huge ceilings, and the room is fairly empty as well, so my sound is bouncing. So I do apologize for the echo, ladies and gents. Did you hit like before you fell asleep? Bash you the like police. Yeah, so regarding pound CHF, yeah, super bearish, looking at more downside. Just have to be patient because CHF does look like it's picked up a little bit of strength, so not strength, sorry, weakness in terms of having a little bit break from being so strong, which you would expect. But I do think, of course, in terms of the trend, in terms of trajectory, nothing's changed. So keep looking to buy the Swiss is very much my plan. And against the pound is not a bad idea. So in terms of an opportunity, what I would look at is probably a push back to the high here, especially intraday. See what type of rejection we can get. If we get a nice sweep, reclaim it, nice closure back below. This to me is a nice smart play for a short. And you got some lows there to keep a very close eye on. We can go a lot further, but when you're taking this type of trade in this type of time frame, you're not looking for the home run. I mean, you can be looking for the home run, but my advice is to lock in your gains and then leave small positions to do the big move. Because if you keep looking for the home runs every time, you're going to get eventually one big trade, but that could happen after like 20, 30 trades, and your drawdown's going to look crazy if you're relying on that big win to keep you afloat. So you're one of those small consistent wins, and occasionally you get the bigger win with that trailed opportunity. And for now, I'm seeing a lot of momentum on the way down. That looks like a smart place to short. This here is just noise. This is just noise here for pound Swiss. This is where I do sense opportunity. But yeah, super bearish. CHF has paused. You can see against other currency pairs, Euro CHF a bit more, CAD CHF a lot, but CAD was a bit strong this week. So CAD CHF a lot more upside, Aussie CHF a lot more upside as well. So CHF has not been as strong. Other currency pairs have gained some strength, which has given us some pullbacks. Again, in terms of the bigger the bigger trend, everything is still pointing down. So predominantly that's still the bias. But just being a bit watchful. I think pound's been super weak, so pound CHF is actually a decent short. Kantoshi said hi. Yeah, to be fair, because you stream much earlier, Bashi. You're like, what, 7 a.m. or something like that? So that will be like some silly hours where Francis is. That'll be like, if it's 6 now and it's 10, that'll be what, 3 a.m. Mate, Francis is just not sleeping at all. I don't know when this guy goes to bed or when this guy wakes up, but he's always here though, so I appreciate it. Pound CAD shorts are good. Yes, pound CAD is definitely an interesting one. Pound CAD and Euro CAD, both of them looking interesting. Pound CAD, the heavier hitter, because of course pound weakness. But I do like what I'm seeing here with pound. I do like what I'm seeing here with pound, because if I go to the weekly chart, we're having a really bearish week. And if I go to the monthly chart not so much. I like the wicks here, but we're still very much in this clutter. I think once that drops there, then we get the real move. But I've always said with pound CAD, be careful with the uptrend. Yes, it has been pretty consistent, of course, been consistent since the low there. But especially in these prices, this is where I'm worried. Your price is taking out a significant high there. It's not really seeing the follow through. You could argue it's not really seeing the follow through to the downside either, which is true. But based on how we're moving this week, with the big break of structure here, I think we are leaning towards that direction there. So for next week anyway, I'm looking at some shorts, and if you can really break this support level around 1.83, that's where I think the big reversal comes into play. And again, if I do the same technique with pound USD, get the channel tool out from the high to the low. Yeah, that's your median there, that's your middle. That could be where pound CAD makes a drop towards. So it could be a very, very bearish few months for pound CAD. If you fell these highs, that's your median, that's where you would bet price to get to. You know, possibly there's that as well, maybe a push to the opposite end too, but the middle you can be a bit more confident with. So yeah, pound CAD, I do like this to the downside, super, super bearish this week. In terms of opportunities, I think I'll just watch out for this low here. I know I'm looking for a pretty big pullback, but there's not a lot of opportunity down here, unless you're going to be super aggressive. And in that case, you're not really looking for the big move. Like for example, maybe your price will push back into this high here, and that could be a smart short. But yeah, I'll take most of my profits at that low. I know I said price can go a lot further, but this is not the best location to be shorting. Especially going into the month open as well, we can see a little bit more fluctuation happening. So yeah, pound CAD, I do like what I'm seeing, but I would be a bit patient with that one. Tosh USD CAD, okay, we could take a look as well, no problem. No sleep gang is mate, no sleep gang, I'm not sure how you guys are managing. No sleep gang does not sound sustainable to me. That gang sounds like it's just it's on a downhill spiral. I got to work, but I don't. Just chuck a few hundred lots on euro. That should retire you. Missed that BTC retest. Okay, we'll take a look at Bitcoin. I know that's been pretty bearish. I haven't actually looked at it in probably about 24 hours now, so I have no idea what price is doing, but we shall go take a look. I'll go through dollar CAD first for Tosh, and then we'll take a look at BTC. Yeah, I'm a big fan of USD longs as well, Bashi. Very, very bullish. I think that could be the theme for the month of November. So if I can catch a nice little swing, that could go the distance. Main focus probably shorts euro or shorts and pound. One of those two bad boys. Just saw a lizard outside. Anywho, let's go through dollar CAD. So dollar CAD, not my favorite USD pair, but because of USD strength and the relationship between the cross pairs of USD, I do think dollar CAD will see more upside. I mean, the price action warrants it as well. We've had a nice pullback past few days, came back to retest the range here, and I can basically just focus that to the high, to be honest, as you need to refer to the whole range. Your price retest the prior high, lovely piercing wick on Wednesday, recovered there on Thursday. We're seeing a bit of follow through there Friday, but essentially this is the V shape I like. Aggressive push followed by an equally aggressive push back up again. So this to me is just a bit of like I'm going to take all the stops underneath here, then recover it. Now I'm expecting the follow through back to the high. So price action wise, dollar CAD looks pretty bullish, and of course the relationship between other USD pairs as well, all in agreement. So I do think dollar CAD in the next few days will be trading at these highs around 1.41. So in terms of opportunities, I think just keep it simple, because if this V-shaped pattern is going to really play out and that dollar strength is going to play out, we should see momentum pick up. So it's just more about just catching the retest of these breakouts, pullbacks. So price can see a meaningful move up through that zone. You're looking for the retest of it. You can even look to try and buy the breakouts. Not really my forte in FX, because the market does revert quite a lot of the time. So yeah, be very, very careful when you are buying breakouts. But you could look into that as well. I think the retest would be the safer option. And yeah, if things go very well, 1.41 roughly, or at the very least, a push back to wherever the high does fall. So yeah, dollar CAD super bullish, more upside. No opportunities just yet, but next few days I do think setups shall form. In terms of BTC, so I haven't checked this one. So yeah, we had a really big drop yesterday. I remember I did see that, but this bounce here is definitely new to me. It looks like we've had a swing back into the low of the range here. Okay, I see what you mean by the retest LFTJ, because this is the range price has been referring to for quite some time. We have managed to spike into the low again, and we've recouped that to the upside. I did say with this bullish move, don't get too excited about it because BTC is still very rangy. So I wouldn't necessarily just bet on a push back to highs here. Talked about the 50% level to keep a close eye on. And it looks like price has basically just got to the 50% and reverted back down, which is why the 50% is always so important to keep an eye on a range. You can see there, basically used as resistance, of course, respected some other areas too. But the 50% is always a nice place because if you think about it, if you're looking for mean reversion, the opportunity for a range play is because price is extended from its mean. Whatever it is, it could be the middle of a range, it could be a moving average. Price is extended from its mean. So if it's far away and it's not going to break out, it's not an expansive market, if it's not trending, there's a good chance it's going to test the low of the range, then come back to its mean, which is the middle. A lot of people make the mistake thinking that if price does reject the low of the range, it has to push back to the high. It doesn't have to. I mean, it doesn't have to do anything, to be honest, but the more likely move is a push to the 50, to the middle. That's really the bet you're looking for. If price is overextended to one side, it's going to balance itself out. So that's why the 50 can be a bit of a noisy area, which is why I always say don't look to trade inside the middle, because that's where things are quite uncertain. Because now price is back at the mean. It's now really 50-50 what price does next. It might swing back to the upper end, it might come back down, might stay there for a while. Yeah, I don't know. But this is really where the edge and the opportunity does lie, at the lows and at the highs. So now that BTC is back at the low, of course, you're looking for more long opportunities as long as we stay above. If we break out, we'll discuss that and see where BTC could go next. But yeah, in terms of the bounce we've had there, again, I like the bounce. I just wouldn't get too excited about any long-term swing with BTC just yet. It's still very awkward. I mean, this push might take us back into resistance. It may take us back to the high. I'm just not overly convinced with the price action right now with BTC, to be honest. I mean, it could still come back down and retest the low, so keep an eye on that too. So yeah, it may come back and retest the first area. Where are we? I'm 33. I can't do no sleep getting too old for that. I didn't know you were 33, Bashi. I thought you were younger, to be honest. I guess that's a compliment. That is a compliment. Called BTC longs from recently hour low, worked out well. Nice one, Bashi. Yeah, that's what I'm looking to play for November. USD longs, unless something drastic happens, because of course everything can change, but where everything's setting up, USD looks like it's got room to the upside, and the yen has got a lot of room to the downside. No problem, Mercy, happy to help. Actually, it was just much cleaner now. Okay, did a fake out, key area, tuck, 1 hour low. Okay, nice. Yeah, to be honest, I don't really look at BTC below the 4 hour chart, so Yeah, I rarely look at cryptocurrencies below the hourly. When I do all my analysis on like BTC, ETH, XRP, XLM, I'm always like weekly, daily, full hour. But to be honest, when I do start actively trading them, I probably would drop a little bit lower, but probably not lower than the hour. I mean, 33 is still fairly young, Bashi. Just older than anticipated, but not old. Even CS said, I thought you were 25. Again, I think these are all compliments, Bashi. They're all compliments. Everyone wants to be young. Any news coming out? Good question. I think we've already had our fun this week with Fed, CAD, Euro. Didn't we have yen interest rates as well? Looks like we still got a bit of fun coming up. We got PCE in the afternoon, USD. That is 1 hour and 30 minutes from now. So yeah, a bit of noise there on the dollar. Maybe this might give us a nice little whipsaw at the end of the month, a bit of a push down, which could set up some nice buys early next week. Yes, we can take a look at the Dow Jones, no problem. I really don't look at the higher time frames, Bash. I mean, I suppose, of course, when you're on the 1 minute chart, going into the daily time frame is quite crazy because how many 1 minute candles do make up a daily chart? So even looking at the daily might not even be that useful if you're only looking for opportunities on the hourly chart. So it makes sense, to be honest. Forex Factory not showing that. Oh, really? Am I looking at the right place? Yeah, Friday the 31st of October. I'm seeing on the economic calendar with my FX book. Let me take a look at FX Street. Yeah, FX Street says, FX Street says PCE as well. Call PCE at, wait a minute. It doesn't give the time. That's strange. Let me have a look at Forex Factory. I don't know, maybe the news has been... Yeah, you're right. It doesn't say it on Forex Factory. I don't know, maybe... Because it's weird it doesn't have a time. It does say it on FX Street, but the time's not there. It says NA. Which is weird because I never really see that before. So I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. I feel like with the whole US shutdown situation, I feel like that's just still being weird. Yeah, exactly. I think maybe the government shutdown thing is maybe delayed that, maybe. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, fair enough, makes sense. Yeah. It's just a whole weird situation, to be honest. Okay, let me go take a look at the Dow Jones before I forget. If I have missed out a pair someone's requested, let me know. I don't think I have, but we'll take a look at US 30. So yeah, the Dow Jones is, last time I checked, looking bullish but stagnating. We gapped up on the week and we haven't really gone anywhere. We tried to but failed. So it looks like we perhaps could be forming some type of top here. Unless we find momentum out of nowhere and take out these highs well, then okay, momentum is back, buy pullbacks. But it looks to me that price is finding a bit of a top here, a bit of resistance, and maybe we could be going in for a bit of a push down, especially going to the start of the month. Maybe price has a bit of a reversion there to pull back. I talked about this area here coming to the week as a nice place for a break and retest and looking for entries. I still think that's the case, especially with the trouble we're experiencing right now. We're seeing so many wicks to the upside, 1, 2, 3. The market's really struggling at highs. Perhaps next week we do open up with a bit of a bearish move, before continuing. So I quite like this zone here around 47k. And yeah, I'll just chalk this to a bit of a range, to be honest. Equal highs, equal lows, unless, again, momentum picks up, we see a strong breakout. That's different. Pullbacks make sense and we can see a lot more upside there. If not, I would be looking at push back into this zone and then the continuation. So yeah, US 30, again, just trying to trade what's in front of us. It's an extremely bullish market. No need to be looking to short really, unless you're trying to drop intraday and take advantage of the pullback. But even then, it's still aggressive. I'll keep up with these higher lows as long as we keep maintaining them. That will set the bias for me. And we might get a bounce or we might break the high. Either which way, we're betting on more upside here. Yeah, it makes sense. I think, because of the shutdown, it's affecting everything. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, my FX book says it's still coming out. FX Street have put a big NA there in terms of the timing. It's mentioned on FX Street, but they just don't have a time for it. So again, that might mean it's not going to be released. And of course, Forex Factory, there's just nothing there referring to it. So maybe it was supposed to be there, but it's not happening. Okay, yeah, we'll take a look at gold as well. No problem. Gold and silver, yeah, of course, we can take a look at those boys. So yeah, going into gold this week was pretty bearish, likewise with silver. Actually, was I pretty bearish? Or did I? No, I was hinting at being bearish because it looked like we were going to get the breakout, and then we had to follow through on Tuesday. And I was like, yeah, I'm looking for selling opportunities. And then I was talking about the retest of this high here for some shorts. It happened outside trading hours, so I wasn't there to look at any opportunities, but it was a nice sweep of the high recovery, and we have seen a bit of a dip. But again, because we're coming to the month's end, I do think this is a bit of a tricky scenario here, because this is a nice sweep of the high recovery, a bit of a push down, not that brilliant to be honest. You want at least halfway of that move there. Of course, if things go very well, you're looking at a push to that low. But we're lacking conviction here. So I think I'd wait to see how we close for the week, month, and then set up for next week. But again, as I've said, since the high there formed, if I'm going to be looking to buy gold and silver again, I do want to see some strength come back into the market, and most likely a break at that high before I do start looking to buy again. Because from a 4-hour perspective, we've had the double top, we've got the break of structure here, we've got a drop, we've got a pull back, another drop again. So I'm still very much in that mode of looking to short the gold, short gold and silver. But if we do that, of course, that's a change in market structure, And because, of course, we understand the higher time frames are still so bullish, you know, if a break of structure back to the upside, for me, that just shifts back to that bullish mode, that bullish bias, and I'll be looking to see if we can take it back to 4,400. So gold for now, I am looking at downside, but I'll look again with fresh eyes next week. Because we already swept the high, we haven't really seen momentum, which is a bit of a red flag. Because the whole point of when price does take out a high, now you're expecting conviction. So if we kind of just stagnate, consolidate, it's either price might be waiting for a news event, which doesn't look like it's potentially happening today, or it's just going to consolidate and then kind of roll over into the week, and then we'll set the new tone based on whatever happens next week. So yeah, gold is just a bit of an awkward position for a short. If you were short from the high there, you can lock in some gains and just see how it goes, at least for the rest of the day. For next week, I'll be seeing what we can do at this high here. Price may want to have one more push before the drop, so that could be an interesting short. But yeah, I want to see price stay correct if I'm going to keep shorting gold. If it does pick up strength, then I'll back away. Because this is still counter trend, we have to still be patient with that. It's not like we're in a free-flowing bearish market. Yes, we've seen some bearish structure, but context is huge. Context is everything. You know, this is very much some short-term bearish plays in a very bullish market, so treat it that way. If this was in like a long-term bearish market, we can be a lot more aggressive with the shorts, of course. Not in this scenario, so still being a bit patient. But yeah, that's really where I'm at with gold. In terms of silver, silver broke the high and didn't recover. So silver, that's a bit of a red flag. If silver does break the high here, then I'll quickly will turn my bias back to bullish here, because at this point it looks like silver could be looking at a bit of a V-shaped pattern here. So you got your consolidation, you got your breakout, looking for the retest and the continuation. We haven't seen that, and strength has kind of picked up. So if silver does go and take out this high, that for me is a V-shaped reversal, which, you know, is a pretty powerful reversal pattern. So if you do break the highs there well, then again, looking at some pullbacks intraday, back into this zone, and very well could make a push back into the high, all the way around 54.49, of course, which is the all-time highs. So silver and gold, been a neutral state, at least in my bias anyway. Of course, higher time frames are bullish, but a bit more intraday is a bit more 50-50. I'm just looking for strength really, in terms of momentum, up or down. If I see some strength coming for the sellers, we get back underneath that high, I'll be bearish, looking for a push to that low. Same thing with gold. If we see some strength breaking out to the upside, especially closing above that high to the left, then yeah, I'm looking at a lot more upside here for silver. And I want to make sure silver and gold are on the same path as well. I don't want to be in a situation where silver's breaking to the upside, but then I'm looking to short gold. That would be a bit of a red flag. Some situations it can make sense, especially if like you're in favor of the predominant trend. But if it's counter trend, it might be a situation to, okay, let's be a bit patient here, wait for them to map out together, and that could be a good trade. Still think about longs on gold, to be honest. 38.85, where's that? I'm looking at silver. Gold 38.85. Okay, so you're looking for a push back down to the low here for a long. Is that the case? And silver 48.50 intraday. $48.50, that's basically coming back to that high. Let's see how we're looking intraday. Yeah, I can definitely see that, to be honest, especially with that momentum and the fact that price may want to go and run the highs, run the lows there. That could bounce and definitely take us higher. Depends how we react, but yeah, that looks like a nice opportunity. I think the longs there for silver actually look really good on the 15. and that could give us the push back to the highs. And if we break it, then even from a 4-hour perspective, I'd say we're looking really bullish. But just because we're trading back in this range, back in that supply area, I'll be careful looking for the breakout. But from a 50-minute perspective, I like that break and retest idea. Okay, that area there for gold. So yeah, back to lows, and then maybe we bounce off them back to highs. Yeah, I could see that, because the way gold is looking, it looks like this is just a big counter move. So if that's the case, then as price gets back to these lows, you're going to expect us to revert back up again, as we see there. Probably do that as well, turn into a bit of a corrective move, and might see the continuation. I have no pairs to watch, but wait. Yeah, I mean, again, that's going to happen for everyone at some point. The thing is to stay consistent as well, because there'll be times where you have a lot of pairs you're watching and someone else doesn't, and you might think, oh, okay, maybe I'm over trading, or maybe my bias is not refined enough. And then there'll be times where it's the other way around. You feel like, okay, I should be doing something here. People are taking trades and I'm not. What's going on? Yeah, it's just preferences, style of trading, hold time frames you're trading on. It's going to fluctuate. I mean, I know for next month what my eyes are on. I mean, I'm not looking for any entries today. But yeah, I've got a nice little list, which is growing actually. FX Bashi signal free. Eurocad, yes, we can take a look at that one as well, Timon, no problem. If you take and I don't message me. To be fair, that's happened to me as well on stream too. But yeah, I'll be sure to message you, Bashi. 38.85 is way too low. Gold hasn't taken out daily liquidity with an aggressive wick. Gold has taken out aggressive wick in the 4 hours, so gold for me is bullish. I mean, yeah, potentially. I mean, that's the beauty of trading, is that no one actually knows. All you have to do is create your system, create your bias, and stick to the process. Of course, context will play into things. Based on that idea, you're going to look for buys higher. Bashi's going to look for buys lower. There's no necessary right or wrong. I mean, the right or wrong is in accordance to your plan, really. But yeah, maybe gold does push higher. Maybe gold does find support and push higher. Maybe gold tanks and takes out these lows, and we're talking about a very bearish gold too. I mean, the funny thing is, from my bias, I'm actually still leaning to the downside, so I'm not even looking for buys yet. We'll go through Eurocad next for Temel. I do want to mention, Euro Pound as well, Aussie New Zealand dollar. I didn't see that, Raheel. Apologies. We'll go through those two currency pairs as well. If I do miss out something, just let me, you can drop it down in the chat again. But yeah, we'll go to those markets as well. But I do want to mention our perps platform. If you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you go and do so. If you're interested in trading perps or don't really know the first thing about trading perps, I do have a video on my channel talking about the platform and trading perps as well. Again, nothing crazy. If you've been trading CFDs, it's pretty much the same thing. You're speculating on price. If price goes up and you're buying, you make money. If price goes down, you're selling. You make money too. And of course, you get stop loss and your targets as well. It's similar to trading futures, except the contracts don't expire. So it's similar to trading CFDs basically, because of course futures, the contracts expire, but perps, perpetual, they continue. And the beauty of this platform is that everything's decentralized. And there's no broker needed, so you can just connect directly from your wallet to the platform, any Solana or Ethereum wallet to the platform, and trade directly from your wallet and deposit and withdraw back into your wallet pretty much instantly. All settlements are done instantly, so you don't have to request for a payout, request for a withdrawal. There's no middleman. There's no kind of police to check if everything's okay. You just withdraw your profits. It's your capital at the end of the day. So in terms of just swift and ease of trading, a great platform to get started with. And we have added some indices to trade recently. So you can trade the S&P, you can trade NAS as well. Of course, other markets coming, FX, other indices, stocks, commodities as well coming to the platform. So if you're interested, check it out. You can trade it on demo as well. It doesn't have to be live too if you want to test it out. And I do have a video on my channel going through how to use it and the AI tool as well. So if you're interested, guys, check it out. And I'm pretty sure I've dropped the link at the top of the chat. Okay, so we'll go through. I'll go through Aussie, New Zealand dollar, Euro pound first because that was requested earlier. Then I'll take a look at Euro CAD next. Welcome to trading. Yeah, that is trading for you. Trading 101. Yep, Euro Swiss, we shall take a look as well, no problem. Appreciate it, Bashi. Thanks for sharing the link. The king of is that an L? Classy. Probably saying that wrong. USD peso, interesting. I haven't looked at that pair in a very long time, but yes, we can do a quick rundown of that market as well. If there's any particular time frames you guys want me to take a look at, let me know too, because I know you guys do trade on different time frames. But I'll take a look at Euro pound first, then I'll go through Aussie, New Zealand dollar, Euro Swiss, and USD MXN. But yeah, as for Euro pound, looking super bullish. I was actually looking at some intraday longs yesterday, but price didn't just do enough for me to find an entry, and to be honest, I was quite busy as well, so I wasn't really dialed in. But I was looking for price to sweep this low and then looking for push back to highs. We just had a very considerable breakout on the daily chart recently, so there's a lot of momentum here for Euro pound. So the likeliness of us continuing is pretty high, especially if you're looking for opportunities intraday. So I was looking for a drive back into the low and then the buy to take it back to resistance. Didn't quite happen, and we're almost at targets there, so no opportunity really, unless maybe we come back down, because we also had this brief consolidation too. So it was some healthy confluence layered there too. But yeah, as for the next move for Euro pound, now Euro pound's never a pair which I want to be following breakouts for too long. It's more like, okay, if the market does break out, great. There might be a nice continuation shortly afterwards, but I'm never going to keep buying and trying to follow that momentum, because it's not a market that persists very well with momentum. It has its moments, of course. Every dog has their day, but just look at the market as I expand here. This is a market which doesn't continue for too long, doesn't trend well, respects support resistance pretty well, reverts all the time. It's not something you want to be looking at the trending conditions for too long. So the first pullback there looked good, and that was just going to be a one and done situation. Potentially there might be a second opportunity, maybe price breaks high as well, and then we could see another pullback to retest the high, but I wouldn't try and force it. If it's not looking A quality, I'll leave it alone, because I would expect after this breakout of these highs that, yeah, we might continue for a bit, but I'm expecting soon enough a pullback to happen, maybe a retest of the high here, or maybe even a deeper correction. So Euro pound is a market which I'm expecting to dip soon, but of course momentum is still here for now. So I would suggest keep an eye on the break and retest of the high there. Maybe there's a bit more momentum, but I would give a lot of attention to that second setup in terms of it looking really, really good. If it's not, I would give it a miss. Euro pound's not really the one to keep buying, keep following momentum. Yeah, in certain scenarios maybe, but in general, it's definitely not. And same with Aussie New Zealand dollar as well, another pair which absolutely loves the range, but recently it has had a pretty nice trend and pretty nice breakout. So yeah, fair play, but you can see again, since when? Jan 2014, so the best part of a decade, the average price for Aussie New Zealand dollar, I couldn't say the word there, Aussie New Zealand dollar hasn't changed. So for the best, well, not even the best part of the decade, for more than a decade, we've been sideways. So again, not really a market which you want to be spending too long finding trends and pullbacks. Yeah, there will be opportunities, but you need to make sure you're very, very selective with them. If you just use them everywhere, you're going to get chopped up. As for Aussie New Zealand dollar right now, which to be honest has actually had some really nice conditions for some trends, I can't lie. It looks like we are set to push back to this high, and maybe after that we might go for a bit of a dip again. Now that we're pushing back to resistance, not a bad place for a short actually, especially with these conditions. I'll wait to see if maybe we can take up the high. Then a short-term sell does look good, but I wouldn't look to try and hold this. Like I said, there's a bit more kind of value slightly above our heads. So as price swept the high here, you can see we had a pretty big drop. I do think price will revert back to its mean. If I look at this as like a channel, you kind of got the mean around there. That could be a nice target there for Aussie New Zealand dollar. Keep fumbling those words there. And then maybe we form a higher low to continue higher. So let's see what type of rejection we can see at the high, because of course it maybe just does break out. But if we reject well, see some nice wicks, I do think that's a nice short, back into the median of price. And then after that, we'll see, you can let some small positions trail. Maybe you push back to the low of the range. But I would be so confident with that because, of course, the strong move we've seen. In terms of Euro Canadian, then we'll take a look at Euro Swiss and USD Peso. Appreciate that, Bashi. But yeah, in terms of Euro CAD, this is a market which again I'm looking at price pushing lower, similar to Pound CAD. Pound CAD had a really big drop, of course, more so because pound's been very weak. Euro CAD not as much, but I do think they're most likely going to start trending together to the downside. This has been a pretty long-lasting uptrend, but it looks like it's coming to its last legs. We took out the high there, just came back down pretty aggressively. This for me is a pretty key support level. It's what basically is keeping the market bullish. As long as we can stay above here, there might still be another rally. If we can break this, yeah, I do think that's when we do turn around. Because we're trading at a very awkward price on the higher time frames. If I scale to the weekly, zoom out, look at the bigger picture, again, another market which does love to range as well. You can see where we're trading here. This is a prime location for a bit of a dip. Of course, maybe it could be a breakout. That could be the case. But if price does start to break structure on the daily, this has room to really, really fall. And same with Pound CAD too. So I would suggest if you're looking for opportunities, this is still a smart place for a buy, especially if you're just looking for like a short-term move back into supply resistance around 1.628. Really nice wicks to the downside. That could be a nice move. If things go very well, you could see a push back to the high. If this level doesn't hold and we do break down, then yeah, I'm looking for shorts and a lot more downside. And that's where the higher time frame analysis comes into play. So this is a very pivotal point if you're looking at EuroCAD, 1.617, 618. Hold above it, bullish, at least back to supply, 1.628, maybe back to highs if things go well. If we break to the downside for whatever reason, which I do think will be the long-term play, then the shorts is where we're looking at. And yeah, we should be looking to tick off these lows as we continue lower. As long as we maintain structure, short. But of course, haven't broke support yet, so I wouldn't get too excited until we do that. Euro Swiss, again, not much to report on this pair. It's still trading and just not really anything of value, really. As I've been saying on the higher time frames, we've been very, very sideways, but every time price does sweep the low, it does have pretty big recoveries. So you can see spikes sweep the low, big recovery, spikes the low, big recovery. I'm looking for us to spike the low again, and I'm anticipating another big recovery. And I think that would be the best place to position yourself for a long. At the moment, we're kind of hovering above that and hovering below resistance here. So I don't think we're really trading in an area which I want to do any business in, at least nothing for like a bigger move, like a swing trade. Intraday is always different. We do have some slight uptrends here. I like the way we did kind of sweep the low here, then reverse. I think that's a nice opportunity, but even if you were to take that trade, I'll be looking to more or less get out the trade at the high, maybe leave some smaller positions to run, but I don't trust the longevity of this bullish move. So yeah, Euro Swiss, just not really in an area which I want to do any business really. I like price to be here, and that's where I think the value is. Or maybe if we come back to retest resistance, I can make some sense of that too. Right now, nowhere I would get excited about. So yeah, not really liking Euro Swiss. USD peso, yes, we'll take a look, and Euro yen too, we'll take a look. Temel, no problem. Appreciate it, Bashi. Thank you for dropping the message. Yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, find it useful, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the stream, hit the bell, all that good stuff does really help out. And of course, share with your friends as well, and drop any comments, chats, questions, trades you're in, we can discuss. But yeah, in terms of USD peso, it's not a market which I've looked in a while. I used to actually trade this back in the day, but I stopped because spreads, actually not really spreads, it's mainly the swap. It was just so big, and it didn't actually make any sense, to be honest, because it's a market that typically trends higher. So predominantly as a swing, pro trend trader, I want to be looking to buy this market, but I'm paying a premium to hold these trades overnight. So because of that, it actually makes more sense just to avoid all buying opportunities and just focus on shorts. Because actually, if you're shorting, you're actually getting paid pretty well for a swap. I mean, it's not crazy returns, but it's pretty sizable when it can actually add to your gains, really. So the swaps are actually quite big, to be honest, both ways. So it became a market which I'd only look to short, and just because the market historically trends higher, it just kind of defeats the purpose a little bit. So because of that and other exotics, I just decided to take off my watch list. So I haven't been looking at it for a while, and to be honest, it looks like we're starting to bottom a little bit, coming back to retest the high here. It still does look really awkward, and of course I would have that natural bullish bias, but I'll try and see if you can just keep it a bit more intraday rather than swing. I do like how we're picking up these higher lows here. Looks like price is going to run back to the high. So in terms of a short, I do think this is a smart place to keep an eye on. And again, you can get paid with swaps with this one, so you don't need to worry about holding it overnight. Just watch out for the daily rollover and the spreads widening, because I know the spreads are going to be huge when that happens. But yeah, this looks like a nice place for a short. You can see we actually repeated the pattern back over here, took out the high there, and they did start this corrective pullback. Now, I wouldn't be looking for a short here to anticipate a push back to these lows, but I would expect to see us again come back to the middle of this point. That could be a nice place to book profits, or even the trend line here. That could be a nice place to book profits as well. It's up to you how you want to manage your positions. Best case scenario, it maybe does form another lower high, and maybe this trend does still continue, and maybe you get a sweep back to the low. I think if this momentum does really pick up, this could eventually start a reversal, so watch out for that too. In terms of some long opportunities, I do like how we're picking up momentum here and starting to see some strength. So this to me looks like a nice long, especially if you're a bit more intraday. So you've got a nice consolidation there, strong breakout. This looks like a pullback opportunity, maybe one more run down, take out some of the early buyers, test a more significant area. Then from here we can get that continuation back to resistance, and then maybe from there we can look to sell it back down. You might not be looking to hold for the full move, but there's opportunity there. So yeah, USD peso, I like the buys and I like the sells a bit more. Okay, so we'll go through Euro Yen next. We'll take a look at Pound Yen as well. All my Mexican friends like USD peso. Why do they like USD peso? Awful conditions. Unless they're very just short bias and they like a lot of mean reversion, then yeah, they actually might have some fun. Okay, so Euro Yen, Pound Yen, no problem, Temel. So yeah, as for Euro Yen, I actually quite like. Momentum's still pretty good. Trend's looking pretty good. It's actually left behind a nice area, which I like the retest of. So I'm actually currently waiting for opportunities there. Of course, this is probably not a trade till at least next week. But again, direction-wise, one direction. You don't have to be Einstein to work out that this market is extremely bullish. So predominantly looking for longs as long as we can maintain structure, which so far we're doing. We've got a low there, another high low there too. I'm looking for entries in this area here, and of course a push at least back to the high. Now I can't be so greedy here for Euro Yen because we're at the highs. You know, this is some of the highest prices. The highest price has been, or the market has been for quite some time. I think since maybe 2008. Let me just check I'm not waffling. No, even longer than that, since the early 90s, so about 20 years prior to that. So yeah, we've been extremely high here. So because of that, I'm not looking to shoot for the moon. What I can be quite confident with is a pullback and a push back to the next swing high. That's a pretty straightforward, probable bet. Anything more than that is bonus, is extra, because there's a lot of wind in our sails here to the upside. Maybe it just spirals out of control and runs away. Or maybe it starts to tire and starts to pull back quite more, which is probably the more likely outcome for these FX pairs. So a buy from here back to high looks good. Maybe you can get a bit extra, you can squeeze a bit more, trail some stops, but be prepared for us to start becoming a bit more corrective soon. As we start to tire, maybe go for a bigger pullback and then maybe continue. But yeah, Euro Yen looks good. Pound Yen, not so much. This one's a bit more stuck in a range, so I'm being very, very patient with Pound Yen. I still like the sweep of the lows. If price can push back to the lows here, I'll be very happy to take some longs there. Because if we can do that, I'll be right at the edge of this range. And that was the plan this week, really. Looking to see if we can get the... I mean, it wasn't the plan of the week, it was the plan of the week as the week unfolded, because we had this crazy bearish move. But yeah, that was the location I was interested in early in the week. Unfortunately, it sat up just before the Fed interest rate. So I refrained from taking the trade just because of the timing was off. But hopefully next week isn't as noisy. And if I can see a push back to this low, sweep it well, reclaim it. That's what I'm looking to bank for an entry. If I don't get that, then I'm looking for the breakout. Because I'm not looking to sell Pound Yen at all. I'm very bullish on this one. This here is my goal, my target for Pound Yen. As long as we maintain this trend, that's where I see us eventually heading towards. So I'm only looking to buy. We've just managed to sweep this low. I'm looking to see if we can sweep the low again. If not, and we get a breakout, then I'm looking for pullbacks along the way, back to highs. The best case scenario, you take out the low here, find some entries, and you add to the trade as we get those more pullback opportunities as things goes your way. But we'll see if we can get that. Now we picture perfect. So yeah, Pound Yen, pretty bullish. Euro Yen, not as much. What's up, Tony Gold? Welcome to the stream, my man. Hope you're well. So yeah, Euro Yen, very bullish. Pound, I mean, all the yen pairs are very bullish. Just some are providing slightly more trendier setups in the moment. But to be honest, I quite like the Pound Yen setup if I can get that. So I'll stick it out. But yeah, my watch list is going to be pretty heavy regarding yen and USD for the next few weeks, probably November. So yeah, dollar yen, CAD yen, pound yen, euro yen, Swiss yen, all looking for longs. Not necessarily looking to take all those positions. What I'll look to do is I'll look to try and take one, get that risk free, then take another, get that risk free, then take another, because I don't want to be over leveraged where, okay, I'm in 4 yen pairs. If they all go down, I'm taking basically the same loss 4 times. Of course, you could be taking the same win 4 times, but of course, risk first, profit second. So it'll be a situation where I try and stagger it. Same with USD as well, but predominantly my focus will be with euro and pound out the USD pairs. Those look the best, and if you want to include dollar yen in that group as well, dollar yen too. So looking to short euro, looking to short pound. We'll see what happens with gold and silver as they unfold. Those I'm being a bit more flexible with. Still short bias for now, but I don't know. Momentum's picked up for silver. If silver does go and push those highs, I think I will look to back away from that short bias. And yeah, that's mainly. There's some crosses that could come into play. Pound Aussie's looking exceptionally bearish. I think there could be some continuations there. So I'll keep an eye on Pound Aussie. I think this has got a lot more downside to it. We tried to continue last week with this bullish move. All it did was form a lower high and break structure really aggressively. So to me, this looks like we're just set to continue lower. Pound CAD, as I said, we've just broken some key structure as well. Oh, that is horrific spelling. Pound CAD, we've just broken through some lows there too. So again, I expect more downside there. Euro CAD might join the party. Yeah, those are many of the crosses off the top of my head. Yeah. So those crosses might also find the watch list. I always refine everything over the weekend. I have roughly the idea of what I'm looking at next week, but I don't know, things can change this afternoon. And I want to be a bit more selective as well, because I might have about 10, 12 pairs which look interesting. I kind of want to get down to like 5 or 6 really good ones. Today market slow. Yeah, I think it's because coming to the week and month end, so you got 2 cycles coming to a close there. Yeah, I think you just got that natural kind of coming to a close, not doing much, to be honest, as people prepare for the next month and things reset again. But yeah, you're right, definitely momentum's a bit slow today. I suppose maybe with the whole US government shutdown as well, we're kind of seeing news events disappear a little bit, so lack of that added volume too. Are we going to have NFP next Friday? Is that back up and running again, or are we still in shutdown mode? And we're just not going to do NFP anymore. Let me have a look. So yeah, I mean NFP is tentative still. I just looked at the Forex factory. It says tentative, so I don't know if that just means just on pause for next week too. I mean it's scheduled, but it might not be going ahead. So yeah, I don't know with that either, to be honest, because again, it's not every month or even every few years you see this happen, to be honest. So interesting how to go around it. Yeah, tentative events are subject to delay, revision, or cancellation. Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, I'll watch out for that next week, but we'll speak more about that as the market, as the next week unfolds. Okay, probably starting November. I mean, it still says tentative on the Forex factory, but yeah, we'll see if that changes. I mean, it's still a week away, so I'm not going to finalize any judgments just yet, but keep an eye. USD BDT, what's that? Is that cryptocurrency? No, it's dollar against Bangladeshi taka. Okay, interesting. We're really looking at some heavy exotics, aren't we? Never. What is that? What is that, free boy? There's nothing you can do with that. Absolutely nothing you can do with that. That's the hourly chart. Yeah, I would heavily avoid trading this market because it's just going to be so illiquid. There's going to be barely. I mean, of course, there'll be participants, but not enough for good execution. Spread's going to be awful. There's no sense of the price action there either. So yeah, you're trading thin air at this point. I generally thought that was a cryptocurrency, to be honest, but no. I mean, it might as well be. I'm joking, but yeah, I would not look to trade that at all, my man. So I can't even do analysis on that because I don't know what I'm looking at. So yeah, I would just recommend don't trade that. Do not trade that. Yeah, that was crazy. CS New Zealand shorts intraday 15. Okay, cool. Didn't know you trade New Zealand yen as well, but yeah, we shall take a look. So New Zealand yen. Okay, to be honest, this one's come back to a range. So although I'm extremely bullish on the yen pairs, New Zealand yen, although I'm bullish on New Zealand yen too, it's just not in a place where I want to be looking to buy, because this is essentially a range, and what I'd be looking for is a big breakout. Then I'll look to add this to the watch list and be a bit more interested in it. But effectively, it's a market that is ranging really well. It's come back to resistance. It's swept out this high, come back underneath it, and seen some nice downside. How far are you looking to take this one, CS? I know you said intraday, but okay, you gave the targets there. So 87.927. Let's see where that is. 87.927. It's roughly around there. 88.192. So that's roughly around there. Yeah, okay, I can see the logic there. Price has swept the high there. We've seen some nice momentum underneath it. I don't mind it, to be honest. Again, you're looking for a short term, something short and sweet. You're not looking to hold this too far. I think this is the noisy area. This is the noisy area because you have this big demand zone, big push to the upside. Market has been pretty bullish, but I do like it because we have kind of failed that momentum, and now we've picked up some really somewhat aggressive bearish structure with these lower lows and lower highs. Where's your stop? So I'd imagine stops above here somewhere. So yeah, that's my only kind of worry of the zone. Not that we can't see the move, it's just that I know this is where buyers could be looking to try and take price higher. I think if I was looking to short this one, I'll try and get it a bit closer to this high here, so I can position my shorts like there. So that's my entry, and then my stops are like there. Of course, I'm not saying I would have like caught that move. I'm just saying in general, I like to have it where we kind of reverted from. Because I know I'm just naturally safer. Of course, if things go wrong, I'll get stopped out there. So yeah, I don't mind it. It's just this area gives me a bit of heebie-jeebies a little bit. So yeah, watch out for that. But I do think your target's in a healthy place. I wouldn't be looking for a big move here. Not that we can't see one. It's just with the shorts and where you're located, things can get noisy before we do get that bigger move. And because you're on the 15-minute, I'll just keep it intraday. You want to be out this afternoon or evening in your case. Tight stop loss 88.3. Okay, so above the highs there. Yeah. Personally, I would have probably given myself a little bit more room here, knowing this is what gave us the move. I wouldn't be surprised if we tap into that. And again, I'm not saying like I know the magic, information of what's going to happen. I don't. It's just, of course, I'm just going to give you my honest opinions. I like the idea, especially where we come from. It's just like if I'm going to enter here, I want to give myself this buffer. Of course, that would reduce the risk reward of the trade. It's just that kind of handoff. Reduce the risk reward, maybe increase the win rate a bit, tie to stop loss, decrease the win rate a bit, but better risk reward. So that's just my preference. But yeah, I mean, I like the momentum. As long as that can maintain, I do think we can push down. I would say keep an eye on this low, because if we do see momentum push and it gets awkward, that could be what takes us off. So, that could be a place to maybe manage the trade a little bit on the way to your targets. $88.3. Yeah, I would say so. If it gets back to 88.3, I'd say either look to add a position or maybe take off some of the position and then enter some new positions there. I think that's a better place, because then you're kind of away from the noise here, and you can probably catch a nice drop initially in your favor to a point where you can probably even maybe reduce risk, move stops to break even. So okay, worst case scenario, price comes back up against you, no loss, and if it goes for you, fantastic. So yeah, if this doesn't go to plan, I'll say keep an eye for a re-entry around 88.35. And again, you can have the same targets there as well, or maybe that low. No problems, yes, happy to help. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on that too. But in terms of the idea, I think it makes sense, because all you're looking to do is short relative to the high of the range, which predominantly is where buyers are going to be taking their profits, sellers are coming to the market. We're likely to see a bit of a move down. How big of a move, we don't know, but we're likely to see at least a push down. And the fact that it's also Friday, coming to the end of the week, end of the month, normally this is where mean reversion happens. You see the bulk of the move Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday's normally like, okay, let's take a bit of a breather as we get that upper wick on the monthly and the weekly candle too. So that gives it extra incentive to see a push down. So I think location-wise, you're really good for that. It's just using the intraday charts, I probably would be a bit higher, but apart from that, I like the idea. So yeah, in terms of the pairs going to next week, I've got quite a few of them, so I'm going to keep them. I'm going to re-look at everything and be back. I think we're back. Apologies, guys. It always happens once per stream. We should all know that by now. But yeah, as I was saying, I will kind of go over the market again and share my thoughts on Saturday. So recapping this week, forecasting the next week. So talk about the best setups I'm looking to trade going into next week. Money bags, Euro Yen, of course, we'll take a look at that as well. And what's up, Tony Gold? Hope you're well. We'll go through some quickly, some monthly candles, see how they're looking going into November. But first, let's take a look at Euro Yen. So Euro Yen, extremely bullish, just looking for pullbacks for this one for some more buys. Not yet. I think this is set up again, maybe next week sometime. But this is our 4-hour chart. Lovely uptrend, momentum's consistent, higher highs, higher lows. This is the opportunity I'm looking to try and take some buys for. Take it back into the swing high and then further. What's that? 177.5. I think that's a smart level for a buy. And yeah, we're kind of just stagnating. We're kind of in a bit of trouble at the high here. So I would refrain from entries here. I think it's a bit sensitive, but if you can pull back into this range, which initially gave us this push, hopefully some more buyers get into the market and drive price higher, and we can take advantage of that too. As long as we don't take out this low here, the bullish bias makes perfect sense. Take out that low, I wouldn't necessarily be bearish because, of course, the trend is still very much up, but it might be the first warning sign to be careful with the longs. But for now, that's not the case, so buys still look good. But yeah, in terms of some of the monthly closures, I just want to have a quick run through because, again, they're going to provide opportunities, ideas into the next month. Momentum, rejection, what we're doing. Let me take my drawings away so they don't clash. So, monthly charts, Euro. So we are coming into this supply zone here. You can see we're reactive with the crosshair. Bit of a bearish engulfing candle there, so perhaps that could mean a bearish month for November as well. It's not the biggest candle, so I wouldn't get too excited, but it is probably going to close as a bearish engulfing candle on the month there, so November could be looking pretty bearish. Pound USD, I expect something similar as well. Yeah, that's the case as well. I think pound actually looks a bit better. Pound was weaker this month, so more momentum there. So I think pound USD to the downside, November is looking pretty good as well. If you take a look at the DXY, yeah, I mean, again, momentum's starting to pick up, but I wouldn't say it's looking anything very interesting. You can see we're kind of just trapped in this range there since May. We haven't really gone anywhere, but should we break the highs there, I think that would be the catalyst to really get things going. Dollar CAD, this one as well, not really anything spectacular. Again, we want to focus on the better opportunities. I think for now, pound looks the better one. Yeah, dollar CAD's picking up momentum, but we've got that resistance there. I would be careful of. Aussie dollar, not expecting much for this one. It's been a bit of a range, yeah. Hasn't really progressed much as well. Very small candlestick there on the month chart there, so I wouldn't really look at much apart from any maybe range opportunities. New Zealand dollar's been more bearish. Yeah, this one looks like it's pushing back to support there, but momentum's not really spectacular either. I think again that pound chart, that euro chart look a lot better. Off the top of my head, dollar yen, this should have a pretty nice close this month if I can type it. Yeah, nice close, breaking resistance there. Looks like we're probably going to go attack the highs there at 156. Might see a bit of a bearish start for November, then we kick on. It'd be nice if we get the retest of this high here. That would be a very nice pullback, but we'll see. Of course, if we quickly scan through the yen pairs, I'm assuming strong months really. Maybe not the strongest month because of that wick, but still very bullish. And again, pound's been a bit weak. Euro yen, strong close, breaking above the highs. Swiss yen, strong close as well. We saw CAD yen. CAD yen looks good, but just coming into some resistance I'll be careful with. Yeah, that's a lot of noise there. How is dollar CHF looking? Yeah, just quite flat. I mean, respecting support well. but nothing major to take away. How's gold and silver doing? I would still expect bullish months, but maybe big wicks. Yeah, big wick there. Silver. Yeah, big wick as well. As we came into the all-time high. So it might be time for a bit of retracement. But overall, everything is still very, very bullish here. And quick look on pound CAD as well. Yeah, still trapped in that range, in Euro CAD, trapped in that range. Pound Aussie looking a lot better. So you can see how we came back to that resistance, rejected it there. That could mean a lot more downside as well. And look at that for a shooting star wick, and then probably going to get a strong close. Of course, we'll see how it closes by the end of the week, but momentum looks pretty bearish to me there too. So really strong rejection there. I do think more downside likely to be seen there for pound Aussie as well. So yeah, just looking at what we've done in October could help what we do in November. Of course, we've just had a big drop there, so we definitely need a pullback. Unless maybe you're very, very intraday and you're looking for a short-term move, but I'll be looking at a much bigger pullback before looking for a sell. Maybe back to this low, retest that low there, 2.02 That could be interesting. That might take maybe a week to get there, but that will be an area to keep an eye. Euro Aussie, however, is still at support, so I will let that one be, unless we can see a significant break next month. Then I'll keep an eye, but otherwise I'll just focus on pound Aussie. Much better opportunity. So if we can, if I take a look at the dollar here, so if we can respect this area here on the DXY, you're probably going to see euro and pound keep falling next week. So 99.2, as long as we maintain those higher highs and higher lows, the trend is still up for me. It's just that we have to worry about this zone here at 99, so maybe taking profits at that level makes sense, maybe holding a bit to see if we can continue higher. That's if you're looking for more of a swing idea, but I'd say if you're intraday, just pullbacks, buy to the high makes the most sense. Take your profit around 100, big level there too. And if the DXY makes that move, pound USD, euro, Aussie, New Zealand dollar, they should be pushing down, but I think euro and pound will be the better currencies to trade USD against, especially in the case of Aussie. Aussie's just flat, so I'll leave that alone. But as for gold and silver, I think I'll let them be. They're not looking crystal clear. Of course, they've been in that notorious uptrend, but after the move we've had these couple of weeks, I think for now, if we can hold resistance there, I'll stay short bias. If of course we break out, I will look to change that around. But for now, I'm just going to be looking at more downside. Same with silver. But if we do break the highs, fair enough. I will reanalyze and maybe talk about push to that level there. So yeah, guys, that's kind of where I'm set for the next week, the next month. A lot of opportunities on the horizon there. It's just about picking the better opportunities, to be honest, and not trying to overdo it. Quality, of course, is always better than quantity. So yeah, guys, we have come to the end of the week and end of the stream, end of the month, end of a lot of things, and the start of a lot of things as well. I do apologize for the echo, maybe the lighting as well. It's not the best. It's a temporary location, so do bear with, guys. So I do appreciate you guys sticking out. Besides the lack of quality on the audio side of things, I do appreciate that, guys. But yeah, hopefully next week it'll be a better situation. As always, I will be filming my thoughts, recapping last week and forecasting the next. So make sure you check out the weekly analysis on the weekend. That'll be posted on Saturday as always. But yeah, guys, before we do wrap up, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you have enjoyed it. Share it with your friends, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Appreciate you guys tuning and speaking with me. Hope everyone has a great day. Appreciate it, Bashi. Okay, echo ain't too bad. Okay, good. But yeah, if what was I gonna say? Yeah, appreciate you guys speaking with me as well. Check out the channel memberships if you do wanna follow the channel further in terms of trade signals and members only videos. But besides from that, guys, appreciate you coming on. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And I'll catch you all in the new week. Take care.
Six AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. Exi, AI, Technical Analyst. Mesa, AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa, AI Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zentrix AI.